let's look a little bit at the road not taken in Star Wars video games. Specifically Star Wars 1313. So if you're not familiar, Star Wars 1313 was a game that was developed by LucasArts. They premiered it at E3 in I think 2012. They showed off some early test footage from it, and it was this big thing that was going to be the future of Star Wars gaming. And then we started to hear, well, maybe it's not going to happen. And then the Disney sale happened, and apparently Disney tried to find some studios to take on the game and finish it, and they weren't able to. And so the game wound up on the shelf with the Underworld live-action series and 30-some-odd episodes of Detours. Now, an interesting wrinkle in the history of Star Wars 1313 was that when it was premiered at E3, there was a new character as the protagonist. However, when one George Lucas saw what they were doing with 1313, he looked at it and he said, "You know who would be great in this game? Boba Fett! Make Boba Fett the main character!" And then he walked out of the room, and the developers were just like, what did he say? And so part of the reason the game never progressed further than it did was because they had to change from a new character to Boba Fett as the main character in it. And we'd never actually seen any of the Boba Fett gameplay or the Boba Fett test stuff that was worked on. We'd only ever seen stuff with the generic hero. Well, this week we got our first look at some of the Boba Fett gameplay. This was posted online by a YouTube channel called The Vault, and they posted about 3 minutes of Boba Fett gameplay. So we're gonna watch this, and we're gonna kind of talk about what we're seeing on screen. So for everybody who's listening, we're gonna kind of talk over this, but you can certainly go and check it out on YouTube. It'll be very easy to find. Just search for Star Wars 1313, or come watch our video and see.
We're 2 hours and 10 minutes into the stream about Chapter 5 of the Mando.
So here we go.
Boba Fett.
For Boba. I mean, that's what's going on. So we've got.
So
Boba
he's
Fett.
walking.
He's walking through like a cantina of some kind. Some descript.
Now, keep in mind that this is made in 2012 or even somehow before that. This is looking very modern with just the amount of characters that are interacting and the volumetric effects of the smoke and the fog and just seeing these creatures. And I'm getting heavy Mandalorian vibes. I mean, just look at the mismatch of his armor with the silver helmet and the other ragtag type of garb he's wearing.
Yeah, I gather that one of the things that would have happened in 1313 is that. Also, speaking of Mando,
hey,
Book
I
of
wonder
Boba
where
Fett.
they got this idea from.
Yeah.
The meat locker. But I gather that one of the things that would have happened in this game is that you would have sort of gathered the armor over the course of the game, that you would have been picking up pieces of it. You maybe would have just started with just the helmet, and you would have slowly gathered, the knee guards and the chest plate and all of the other parts of Boba Fett.
So far, so this game plays, it's a lot of kind of parkour-esque stuff, and kind of similar to Fallen Order. You have a lot of obstacles you need to climb over, and he's chasing somebody. Boba's chasing somebody.
Very Uncharted-esque with kind of like you kind of running along, and it turns into kind of very cinematic.
Yeah.
It's hardcore parkour.
Also reminds me of Lightsaber Lost in the Clone Wars.
And
Go ahead, Star Raptor.
I'm just seeing the background. If you look at the background, just the amazing Coruscant nightlife, the sky, the ships going past, the lights. It's like really.
It's impressive even in this like very early stage. Like it's very bare bones, you can tell, but it looks really good.
Yeah, it's like this along with the Underworld test footage. It just makes me sort of yearn for more Coruscant content. Like there was a time when we would have gotten to explore Coruscant so much more, and we've got little bits here and there in Clone Wars. The Martez sisters arc in season 7 picked up on some of that, but we would have seen so much. Now we're seeing some like real test footage, sort of like
everything's black and white.
Yeah. Boba's getting beat up. There's no backgrounds anymore.
But this just shows me like the animation is pretty incredible
Yeah.
for this time. Like the physics look really ahead of its. This game would have been really ahead of its time if it came out when it did.
I'm sure maybe it was building on some of the engines they were working on, maybe with, I don't know what the studios were like, but like there was that Indiana Jones game they were working on like years ago. Supposed to have like these really, state of the art like effects and like stuff that obviously you're seeing here with the whole like ragdolling effects and stuff like that. It was really
it's just pretty sad for the developers, right? Because you see all the great work that they do for just the cover system that they showed, the parkour, like your traversals, like Assassin's Creed and Uncharted, is just so smooth. And then for somebody to come in the room and be like, "Oh, your guy's gonna have a jetpack now," and it's like they just put all their stuff down, like. Our entire game is made by us jumping and leaping and getting behind cover. So you're telling me now I'm just gonna be flying around? Like I have to basically tear the entire game apart and make it from the ground up.
It's probably where they came up with the concept of okay, he doesn't have all his armor, he doesn't have a jetpack.
The
and,
last
he
thing
gets that. Like the game ends when he gets the jetpack.
The game, he gets the jetpack, and then George walks on screen and says, "Thank you for playing this game. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to finish."
Okay, so now this needs to be like the Deadpool effect. Like now they've released the test footage. We gotta blow this up, and they'll make the game.
So now we've got 1313 test footage. We've got Star Wars Underworld test footage. We've got a leaked episode of Star Wars Detours. Like it's all out there. Like let's go.
When are they get that on Disney Plus?
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. In the last 2 years, we've gotten that little glimpse at the road not taken of basically the last decade of Star Wars. That's interesting.
Bob from social media is like, whoopsie.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for some tin can footage and
yeah, it's fascinating. Well, you say tin can footage. A teaser for that does exist.
That's true.
It was prepared for Josh Trank's Boba Fett movie for Celebration Anaheim. They prepared a teaser that would have been all digital. It would have been like the Rogue One teaser they showed there.
That,
but they did
that's
not.
somebody's gonna leak that next year. Like it's gonna keep going.
So that's 1313. It looks fascinating. It looks fascinating. It's another one of those ones. Just wish we could have seen it. Wish it could be revived some way. And
I think if they ever make this game, well, yeah, if is a good question, right? You're kind of half joking about how many of these games are actually going to come true, to fruition. But maybe we're looking at some games here, like maybe Ubisoft, maybe they're making a Mandalorian game. Somebody's got to be making a game about a Mandalorian or a gunslinger of some sort, because we have the Jedi game. Now we need the scoundrel / bounty hunter / Mandalorian game, and then maybe they could use elements that they got from that or something.
The resurgence of Mandalorian culture and Star Wars lore and Boba Fett and all this kind of stuff, and and also taking retired concepts and bringing them back, I think, and doing all these deep cuts, and they're referencing the holiday special now. Come on, you can just do 1313. So I think there's precedent for this to do. Maybe not 1313 in general, but do something along that line.